Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Thanks for joining us. As was discussed in my last video, I decided to go with at least 2 spooky themes this year. So we're starting spooky season in September. Technically I've already started it because it's August, and I've already gone to several Spirit Halloweens and shopped for Halloween stuff in other stores as well. And if you'd like to see the stuff that I have found, you can follow me on TikTok because I keep just posting random videos of me walking around different stores like Tuesday Morning and Joann's and Michael's, and there's been some cute stuff. Or let me know in the comments below if you think I should edit my TikToks into a YouTube video and just upload that stuff here. Maybe do a voiceover for it, just talking about what I found. Let me know. Anyway, let's move on to the theme for this month. It's kind of a cute little spooky house thing. You can see that I'm already working on it here. I'm coloring the house in a medium gray Tombow dual brush pen. And then when I want it darker in some areas, like I'll use it for the stairs, I just go over it a couple of times and make it darker. I also tried to color it in just straight horizontal lines so that it would kind of look like siding on the house. So I hope that that translates. I think it looks cute. In the windows, there's little fun characters. There's a little skeleton and a ghost, and then there's pumpkins in the downstairs windows. And then I have bushes in the front of the house that have little eyes in them, so that, you know, there's like spooky things hiding in the bushes. And then there's also some bats coming out from behind it. And then the big circle is a moon, and it's also got September written in cursive on the side of it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this came out. It's really cute, and I hope you like it. So while I'm coloring in the cover page here, I actually wanted to just address the name change on YouTube and actually also on my Instagram. The name Cowbell is short for Kelley Belly, which is like my nickname for my mom. Ever since I was in her belly, I was just her Kelley Belly. And that's cute and all, but it didn't really have any resonance on here. It didn't really say what my channel was or who I am. Plus also, low-key, it does kind of sound like, when you say it out loud, it sounds like you're saying cowbell. And also, I'm not the only cowbell on here, and I am down the list. So I actually just sat around and thought about what I might want, what I want my name to say to other people. And I ended up coming up with LibraDoodles, which, yes, sounds like Labradoodle, but Labradoodles are cute, because, I mean, all dogs are cute. And also, I'm a Libra, and I'm doing, you know, art stuff on my channel. So I feel like it's a decent representation of who I am and what my channel is about, just right off the bat when you look at it. I also changed my Instagram to LibraDoodles as well, but there is one other LibraDoodles on Instagram. I did not get my name from them. I thought about it on my own. I just looked around to see if there were more. There's none on YouTube. There's one on Instagram. So on Instagram, my name is Libra_Doodles. So you can find me there. You know, I'll post it up on the screen. Yeah, so I just felt like this is a better channel name. My name's still Kelley, and you can call me that. But that's just kind of, I wanted people to be able to look at my channel and like instantly get a feel for like who I am and what my channel is about. And I hope that that gives that to them. And now was a good time because I only have 69 subscribers, and no, that's not a joke. That's not a filthy joke I'm trying to make. That's just how many subscribers I have. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Hi, this is just a little warning. I'm about to read about some alleged haunted houses, so if that's not your thing, totally get it. Maybe just put this on mute and play your own music. Thanks. So now that you've gotten my little warning, I'm going to talk to you about some of the more famous haunted houses in history, alleged haunted houses. I mean, I can't speak to its relevance or validity, but other people can, so, let's get spooky. So the first place that we're going to talk about is a pretty famous one, the Winchester Mystery House. It is a mansion in San Jose, California that was once the personal residence of Sarah Winchester. She was the widow of firearms magnate William Wirt Winchester. It's a Queen Anne-style Victorian mansion renowned for its size. Let's get into the history on it, shall we? All right. Sarah, along with her husband, William, had a daughter. Shortly after her daughter was born, she died from a children's disease in which the body wastes away, known as marasmus. Shortly after the death of their daughter, they lost several other relatives, and ultimately, William died as well from tuberculosis. After her husband's death from tuberculosis in 1881, Sarah Winchester inherited more than $20.5 million, which would be equivalent to $550 million in 2020. She also received nearly 50% ownership of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, giving her an income of roughly $1,000 per day, which is the equivalent to $7,000 a day in 2020. These inheritances gave her a tremendous amount of wealth in which she used to fund the ongoing construction of the Winchester Mystery House. After the death of her husband and her child, a Boston medium told her, while supposedly channeling her late husband, that she should leave her home in New Haven, Connecticut, and travel west, where she must continuously build a home for herself and the spirits of people who have fallen victim to Winchester rifles. Winchester left New Haven and headed for California, although it is possible she was simply seeking a change of location and hobby during her lengthy depression. Other sources say that Winchester came to believe her family and fortune were haunted by ghosts, and that only by moving west and continuously building a house to hide from the spirits that fell to the firearms of her late husband. In 1884, she purchased an unfinished farmhouse in the Santa Clara Valley and began building her mansion. Carpenters were hired and worked on the house day and night until it became a 7-story mansion. She did not use an architect and added on to the building in a haphazard fashion, so the home contains numerous oddities such as doors and stairs that go nowhere, windows overlooking other rooms, stairs with odd-sized risers. Many accounts attribute these oddities to her belief in ghosts. Environmental psychologists have theorized that the odd layout itself contributes to the feeling of the house being haunted today. Before the 1906 earthquake, the house had been 7 stories high, and carpenters may have been brought in to initially repair the damage caused by the earthquake. Today it's only 4 stories. The house is predominantly made of redwood, as Mrs. Winchester preferred the wood. However, she disliked the look of it. Therefore, she demanded a faux grain and stain be applied. This is why almost all the wood in the home is covered. Since its construction in 1886, the property and mansion were claimed by many to be haunted by the ghosts of those killed with Winchester rifles. Under Winchester's day-to-day guidance, its quote, from the ground up, end quote, construction proceeded around the clock by some accounts without interruption until her death on September 5, 1922. Sarah Winchester's biographer, however, says that Winchester, quote, routinely dismissed workers for months at a time to take such rest as I might, end quote, and notes that, quote, this flies in the face of claims by today's mystery house proprietors that work at the ranch was ceaseless for 38 years, end quote. When Winchester died, all of her possessions, apart from the house, were bequeathed to her niece and her personal secretary. Her niece then took everything she wanted and sold the rest in a private auction. It supposedly took 6 trucks working 8 hours a day for 6 weeks to remove all of the furniture from the home, an account disputed by Winchester's biographer. Today, the home is owned by Winchester Investments, LLC, a privately held company representing the descendants of John and Mame Brown. The home retains unique touches that reflect Mrs. Winchester's beliefs and her reported preoccupation with warding off malevolent spirits. These spirits are said to have directly inspired her as to the way the house should be built. The number 13 and spiderweb motifs, which carried spiritual significance for her, occur throughout the house. In 2017, the Winchester Mystery House debuted their first new daytime tour in 20 years, called the Explore More Tour. This tour takes guests through rooms never before open to the public and explores the rooms left unfinished at the time of Sarah Winchester's death. Fun pop culture fact, the Winchester House was Walt Disney's inspiration for the Haunted Mansion at the Disney parks. And other fun fact, I recently just watched that movie for the first time. Well, that was the first house that we're talking about. Nothing too spooky. I mean, we talked about ghosts and guns and stuff, but, you know, nothing too crazy. And whilst I was talking, we moved on to my full 2-page calendar layout for September. I brought the big orange moon theme over to the second page and put it behind the calendar. I also drew a really cute ghost in the corner and some bats flying across the moon as well. I didn't draw any lines in between the boxes, which made it a little difficult to number, but I think it came out pretty cute. The next part of this was the part that I really found, fun, creative. It's a little more creative thing. I'm putting these black pages on here from my Blackout Archer and Olive A5 journal. I'm just gluing it on one side, and I'm putting one on the other page as well and gluing that down. I have already kind of trimmed it a little bit before the video just to make it really easy, and then I'm opening it up and folding it a little bit right where the hinges of a door might be. You see where I'm going with this? Because I made a haunted house, so the second page is me opening the doors to the haunted house to my calendar layout. The little kitty stickers you saw me put on there are just acting as doorknobs. I don't know why, just thought it would be cute. And now I'm drawing black lines on here to kind of simulate the kind of engraved wood designs that are usually on doors. You know, there's like a couple of rectangles on it. It's not usually just or sometimes it is, but it's not always just a flat door. But I didn't want to do it in a different color because I just wanted it to be a very subtle detail. So look, now it looks like you're opening the doors to the house. Next page, because we're coming into fall, that's when all the TV shows start up, and I will not be ashamed. I like TV and movies, and I'm gonna watch them, especially when it's cold and rainy. And sometimes I like to keep track of them because sometimes there's a lot on and I don't remember when or where. So what I usually do for this spread, I didn't have it all summer, but last year had it for the fall and winter. I just put down the days of the week, and they're not even because there are way more shows that play on a Sunday night than there are on a Tuesday night. Here is an example of one that I had filled out before. And then I put the time and the channel that it's on. I have also before put like a tracker on it to mark off when I've watched the newest episode, but I didn't always remember to do that, and then I couldn't remember if I watched it. I don't know. It's just on there. Hopefully I'll just remember it. The second page has no actual tracker use. I just really wanted to draw more of the house. So it goes with the TV tracker in the sense that above this fireplace is a big TV. And I wanted to make sure that you knew it was a TV. I was gonna put like Netflix or Hulu across it so it would be really easily recognizable, but the tracker isn't about me watching TV and Hulu TV shows, because when I watch those, I put them on my like faves and memory pages. So I just left it blank, but I'm explaining it to you anyway. This page came out so cute to me, I think, personally. And I know I'm biased because it's mine, but I love it, so yeah. There's a fireplace, there's like a little spider web in the fireplace, and then on the mantle there's some candlesticks, as well as a little photo frame with a ghost in it, a little plant that's modeled after my pothos that's hanging up in my house. She's beautiful and trailing across my ceiling because I put up hooks and I put the leaves through the hooks. And then some witchcraft books and a pumpkin. And down on the side of the fire, there is a stack of pumpkins as well as a broom. And then above the television, there's like a string of spiders, like fake spiders. Or are they? No, they're fake. But I don't know, I think it came out pretty spooky, pretty cute, like a cute spooky, a spoopy, if you will. And then it's sort of like a wallpaper, I guess. I did like little like circles and star things, so yeah, I hope you like it. Now, while I'm coloring in this page, let's talk about the Whaley house. It is also in California, San Diego, and it is often touted as being the most haunted house in America. So this story starts with Thomas Whaley, of Scottish-Irish origin. He was born on October 5th in 1823 in New York City. He is the seventh child in a family of 10. Whaley took over his father's successful business relations and then left New York on January 1st, 1849. He traveled to San Francisco during the California Gold Rush, where he engaged in business. Then he went to San Diego in September of 1851. 2 years later, Whaley went back to New York and married Anna Eloise Delaunay on August 14, 1853. Together they returned to California, arriving in San Diego on December 7, 1853. On August 22, 1857, that's a little less than 4 years later, the Whaleys moved into their new home, which is now known as the Whaley House. Thomas and Anna had 6 children: Francis, Thomas, Anna, George, Violet, and Corinne. Thomas Whaley Jr. suffered from scarlet fever at 18 months, and he passed away on January 29, 1858. After the death of baby Thomas and the loss by fire of their store, Thomas and Anna moved to San Francisco. In January 1859, Whaley turned his affairs in Old Town over to Frank Ames, a Wells Fargo agent. In the summer of 1868, Thomas invested some of his new capital of stock in merchandise and headed back to San Diego. Thomas fixed up the old Whaley house, and Anna and the rest of the family arrived back home to San Diego in December 1868. On January 5th, 1882, Violet and Anna were both married in Old San Diego. Violet married George T. Bertolacci, I don't know how to say that, and Anna wed her first cousin, John T. Whaley, son of Henry Hurst Whaley, inside the family home. Unfortunately for Violet, just shortly after the nuptials, her husband revealed to her in a letter his sordid past. He vowed to prove his worthiness, but Mr. and Mrs. Whaley would try to sever all contact. Suffering from melancholy, Violet ended up taking her own life. She was then 22 years of age. Her note read thus: "Mad from life's history, swift to death's mystery, glad to be hurled, anywhere, out of this world." Wow. Didn't know this was going to get this dark. Sorry, guys. The note is a passage from Bridge of Sighs, a poem by Thomas Hood. This particular poem is also offered up by Edgar Allan Poe as an example of painting with words. He spoke of it and was referenced in his published works during his lectures. Corinne was engaged at the time of her sister's death, but her fiancé broke off the engagement due to the scandal it raised. After these tragic events, Thomas Whaley built a single-story frame home for his family on 933 State Street in downtown San Diego, and the family moved into the new residence, leaving the Whaley house vacant for over 2 decades. The firstborn son, Francis Whaley, married Susan Murray in Mendocino, California on December 31st, 1888. On December 14th, Thomas Whaley died due to ill health at the State Street address. Anna Amelia Whaley died at Modesto, California on December 12, 1905. Meanwhile, the old Whaley house remained vacant and fell into disrepair. In late 1909, Francis Whaley undertook the restoration of the building and turned the home into a tourist attraction, where he posted signs promoting its historicity and entertained visitors with his guitar. Anna Whaley, Thomas's widow, Corinne, Lillian, Francis, and George all lived in the old Whaley house in 1912. On February 24, 1913, Anna died at 80 years of age. A year later, Francis Whaley died. George Whaley died 14 years after that in San Diego, and Corinne Lillian Whaley continued residency in the house until her death in 1953. After the history of success and deaths in the Whaley house remains well known as a haunted house. It is said that guests and staff from time to time will catch a glimpse of the ghost of the Whaley family member who died inside the house, such as baby Thomas Jr., Violet, Anna, Francis, George, or Corinne. The Whaley house is located in the Old Town neighborhood of San Diego. The historic house opened as a museum on May 25, 1960. It's managed by the San Diego Historical Shrine Foundation. The house has frequently been cited as haunted, based on strange noises or sights reported by some visitors. In 2005, Life magazine called the Whaley house the most haunted house in America. Shortly after the Whaley family moved in, they told the San Diego Union that they heard heavy footsteps in the house, which they believed to be the ghost of James, quote, Yankee Jim, end quote, Robinson, who had earlier been hanged on the property for stealing a boat. Some visitors have reported seeing apparitions of Thomas Whaley or Anna Whaley. On the last weekend of every month, the Whaley House Museum offers a late-night ghost haunting tour. Additional tours are offered around Halloween. If you would like to watch a movie, in 2012, the film studio Asylum released an independent low-budget movie entitled The Haunting of Whaley House. Although the film was shot on location at the historic Bembridge House in Long Beach, California, the history and ghostly legends of the Whaley House were used as the basis for the movie. Also in 2012, the Whaley House was featured on the biography channel's The Haunting of Regis Philbin, while filming for a local San Diego morning show. In 1964, Regis Philbin visited the Whaley House Museum and claimed to have a paranormal encounter with Mrs. Whaley. Philbin stated, "You know, a lot of people poo-poo it because they can't see it, but there was something going on in that house." On an episode of MTV's Ridiculousness, host Rob Dyrdek commented that he lived next to the most haunted house in California and would spend nights calling for Old Man Whaley. So that's fun. In 2014, the Whaley House was featured on Ghost Adventures as the main investigation in the series' 110th episode. And in 2017, the house was featured on the first season, 6th episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural for a paranormal investigation. I have actually watched BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural, and it's a really fun watch. And if you like spooky things, it's a really good balance of spooky and comedy. So if you like that kind of stuff, you should definitely watch it. So that again was the Whaley House. Sorry it got so dark there, guys. I didn't know it was going to go there. As I was telling you that story, I moved on to the next page spread, which is my faves and photos pages. The design that I drew down the middle is a cute little ghost like the one I did on my 2-page calendar spread. And then I drew some bats coming out from behind it on either side in a diagonal fashion. And then I also drew a bunch of stars and circles like the ones that were on the wallpaper of the, let's say, entertainment room of my haunted house, where the TV was. So I'm just trying to, there's a lot of small little details in here. It's not like I'm just drawing one thing on every page. It's not just a ghost theme, but I'm trying to bring elements from the other pages into the other pages so it stays pretty cohesive. Another cohesive thing I did on these 2 pages was that I took black paper and I ripped it to make the titles for both of the pages, and I put faves on the top and photos on the bottom just to kind of keep that diagonal thing going like I did with the bats, so the bats sort of feed to the titles. And then I used a white gel pen to write on the paper, and then I decided to throw a couple little pumpkins on there, so I grabbed my Archer and Olive Acrylograph pen in like an orangey color to color in the pumpkins, and that added just like a tint of color to this page, because other than that it's all black and white. The next 2 pages are the last pages, just my weekly spread. So I kind of did all of 1 week on 1 page. I didn't leave like a ton of room for space. It's more so just to write down like tasks or appointments or something. Just things I need to remember. And then I threw a stack of pumpkins down on the corner of the page on the left side. And in between, so I have the end of September on here, and then the end of August, and then the beginning of September, because that's 1 full week from Sunday to Saturday. So between the 2 weeks where the new month starts, I drew a few bats. I also drew a small full calendar at the top, and then below the calendar there is a list for ongoing projects, because I have a few spooky projects I want to work on, maybe film them for you guys. And then the second page, and also the bullet points to my project list are little spiders, just for cuteness. And then the second page, it's that same spider kind of string of lights, but they're not lights. I can't think of what to call it. At the top into a spider web with one little dangly spider, and then it just says Wednesday 01, because I'm sort of, instead of creating boxes for every day, kind of just gonna write down stuff as I want to write it down. If I don't really write much that day, then it only needs a little bit of space. But if I have one day where like a lot of stuff happens, I want to have space to write a bunch if I want to. So I'm just gonna write them as they happen and not create boxes for it. Then I outlined all of the week 1 boxes and put the day and the date up the side of it, written sideways. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be my weekly layout. We're about to go back to my future log and copy things over from the calendar there, and then we'll do a quick flip through as we usually do. But before that happens, I just want to thank you all for being here and watching my video. Even if you had to watch it on silent, I guess you wouldn't be hearing this right now. But I appreciate you nonetheless. I appreciate what few subscribers I have. Thank you so much for being here. Share me with your friends if you like it. I really like the way that this theme came out. I'm very excited to continue to be in spooky season and do another spooky one next month. I also have a really fun idea for an entire theme for next year. So subscribe, stick around, watch my little flip through, watch me open my little doors. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on other socials if you want to see more of my daily life. Have a great spooky season. I'll see you again soon. Bye.